Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Ahmad Abdul bin Jeffrey and I'm from SR1110 5A. So basically the main issue we want to talk about is transgender in sports. So basically transgender people who take part in sport face a lot of difficulties. This is because sports leagues or sport tournament, sport competition have traditionally been separated according to gender. For your information, transgender is a group of people who do not want their original gender and want to transform their original gender to the opposite gender. Okay, so now let we see a few examples of cases that went viral before about transgender in sports.
When we talk about the application of law, first we need to know the civil law position on transgenderism. It must be made clear that neither Malaysian nor Islamic law currently recognize the position of transgender people in the legal system. According to the section 27, Malaysian birth and the legal gender of person cannot be changed unless mistake were made. According to the Death Registration Act and Section 6 of the International Registration Act, in Tan Pu Wee, Director General of International Registration Department 2006, the plaintiff who was biological born as the woman successfully underwent the gender reassignment surgery at the medical facility and had the following of the surgery: underwent the number of psychological evaluation that medical examination by specialist medical practitioner. The plaintiff had applied for the declaration that he is legal a male and for significant relationship. Significant relation. In this case, even though the High Court upheld the plaintiff initial summon and the declaration that she be asserted as a man, and Court of Appeal overturned that decision, make it illegal for the woman who underwent the sex change to recognize as a man and to change their identification to reflect the male gender. Next, we talk about the Sharia law position on transgenderism. As I mentioned before, there is no specific reference to civil law on transgender person who intentionally perceived to be gender atypically as the penal code, only describing transgender offence to engage in same-sex act between men. However, this does not mean transgender person who are not committing such a crime are freely to appear for or behave against his or her biological gender, especially when referred to Sharia law. Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala has created man in perfect form and has decided his gender identity on the basis of his sex, male or female, and is biological cognition in Surah Al-Surah in the verse 22.
Idaho is a state in the Pacific Northwest region of the Western United States, become the first state in the country to prevent transgender girls such as Hako from participating in sport consistent with their gender identity. House Bill 500, known as the Fairness in Women's Sport Act, state athletic teams or sport designed for female, women, or girls shall not be open to students of the male sex, and also requires that girls and women have genital and hormonal testing if their biological sex is challenged. Transgender athletes who have a benefit from the strength improvement generally associated with male hormones released during adolescence may dominate women's sport. Therefore, there is an impact on the sport industry and athlete on this transgender case, which is female facilities are misused. When transgender people must use facility attended for another gender, such as transgender female athlete using female facilities, it raises concern about the right of women to use restroom due to gender uncertainty when using the restroom and concern for others' users' safety. The topic of transgender people use of the restroom has been debated for a long time because it can serve as a justification for individuals who pretend to be transgender and take advantage. Instead of using the restroom of the other gender makes people feel uneasy and scared. According to the research, the general public and transgender person find it challenging to use the restroom. In the public areas, 31% state they avoid eating and drinking because they are terrified of needing to use the restroom, and 80% said they have a developed kidney or urinary tract infection as a result. In addition, the impact on athletes is that the result of the competition are unfair. The rate for the woman to win competition with transgender participant is very low because in terms of natural hormones that produce better muscle and bodies. In one study show trans women perform 31 more push-up and 50% more sit-up in 1 minute and run 1.5 miles 21% faster than their female counterpart. The men are fundamentally biologically superior to women, and therefore someone that was assigned male at birth should never compete in women competition.
The conclusion for this issue, in relation to sport-related physical activity, this review found the lack of inclusive and comfortable environment to be primary barrier of participation for transgender people. So, it caused negative experience in competitive sport because of restriction sport policy placed on them. So, the majority of transgender competitive sport policies that were reviewed were not evidence-based.
In order to guarantee equal competition, women's sport was spread. Sport competition are ultimately a physical test where articles males clearly have an advantage. During puberty, males frequently develop longer, denser and more muscular than females, as well as greater strength, speed, and lung capacity. This opinion was strengthened by House Bill 500, sometimes referred as the Fairness in Women Sport Act, which states that an athlete or sport team designed for women, ladies or girls should not be open to male athletes. The idea of LGBT or transgender group to stand out is illegal in Malaysia, so this act is specially used by other countries and not shown there. Many parties need to emphasize the only two gender can compete in this topic, and that the LGBT communities can choose not to support their ideology. The general public must be made aware of the need to split a competition fairly by gender to ensure that the level competition is equitable.